hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Pocket with Jo. Hey, good morning, everyone. Jo here at SportsGrid. It's time for Bucket with Jo over here on the SportsGrid TV. Now, we've got a light slate out there on the ice, but still plenty of opportunities to make some money today with 4 games out there on the ice. Definitely a smaller slate than we would hope for, but lots of opportunities to make some money. So let's jump straight into the show as I kind of adjust a couple things over here. Apologies for that, you guys. All odds are over on FanDuel, and we're going to kick it off with a matchup between the Boston Bruins and the New Jersey Devils. Now, the New Jersey Devils, such a large favorite here, really has me questioning why this team has lost their last 4 and they've been struggling over their last 10. They've been so inconsistent out there on the ice. Now, Jacob Markstrom should be in net tonight, and we love what Jacob Markstrom does bring to the table. For the Boston Bruins, it probably is Swayman. They haven't confirmed Swayman or Korpisalo. Either way, I do think looking at this matchup, the Devils haven't been scoring a lot, but I'm expecting them to be able to find the back of the net in this matchup tonight. They need to break this losing streak. We got a total of 5.5. I think this is too light, you guys. The over 5.5 coming in at minus 120, plus 184 for the Boston Bruins is very tempting in this matchup because we look at the Boston Bruins, and I do think they play the New Jersey Devils tight. You also look at the New Jersey Devils. They failed to cover the puck line in their last 11 games. The puck line here for the Boston Bruins laying a goal and a half is coming in at minus 140. I think it's worth a look. I do think it's a live betting situation, though, if we see the New Jersey Devils go up first to come back in on the Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins have been allowing those goals. Remember in the last game versus the Senators, we expected more of a lockdown defensive game. We saw all of those goals raining in that matchup. So it ended up being a 6-3 style game. Actually, that was versus the Sharks, on Monday. So you look at that, they have the Senators tomorrow, and that's the team that they lost to in the shootout loss. So they did play the Senators back on Saturday on the road. So that was a 6-5 shootout loss. And then in their last game versus the Sharks, we saw a 6-3 win. The Sharks went up first in that one as well. So we saw the Boston Bruins really dig deep. I do think the Devils should be able to score some goals. Jasper Bratt, I would look at here, Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes to come out strong for the Devils and find the back of the net. You could look at their point parlay as well, parlaying all 3 of them. And then for the Bruins, I do look here to circle David Pastrnak, leading this team right now, 22 goals, 31 assists, and 53 points. So give me the Boston Bruins plus 1.5 on the puck line, as well as the over 5.5 minus 120. Again, live betting situation. More than likely will get my money for the Boston Bruins plus 1.5 if the Devils go up first. Happy Wednesday, Matt. Let's make some freaking money. That is for sure. The next game on deck, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, Elvis expected here for Columbus, and Dennis Hidby coming in confirmed for the Toronto Maple Leafs. When we look Dennis Hidby coming in here, he doesn't have great numbers, you guys. He's 3-2 with a 3.18 goals against average. We know the Toronto Maple Leafs try to lock down in front of him. Toronto's a $2 favorite, though, and I just can't bite. But you do look at Columbus, and you look at the Columbus Blue Jackets, their struggles all season out there on the road. It hasn't been pretty. I wouldn't jump on them at plus 168 there on the money line, but I will bite on this total. Again, I think this total is too low. Total of 6.5 minus 106. To the over, and that's where I'll go. I do think we could see Toronto getting 5 goals, 3 goals out of Columbus, so that definitely pushes us over that total of 6.5. Now, both teams to score in the first period, I do think is worth a look as well. Let's just pull up value on both teams to score in the over 1.5 in that first period. Over 1.5 goals is coming in at minus 138. So you will have to lay the juice there, but I do think both of these teams can find the back of the net. We know Columbus has had success in that first period. So both teams to score in the first period. The books are telling me they are limiting their risk. You guys know we normally get this right around the plus 165 to plus 190 range. It's coming in at plus 158 for both teams to score in the first period. So I do think we should be able to hit that one nicely. So if you want to look at a first period money line, too juiced again for the Toronto Maple Leafs at minus 180. First period team to win faceoffs. That's a really interesting one with the face-off prop there. I've never bet that, you guys. Let me know if you've ever bet that before. I'm just seeing that for the first time over on FanDuel. It's really interesting to see all of these markets open. The one market they haven't been opening is those block shots on goal. I just want to see if we got anything for that in the matchup between Colorado and Winnipeg. There's no block shots on goal. That's the market that I really want to see open up because we know it's absolute moneymaker. We didn't get it all last season over on FanDuel. So hopefully they do bring that back as we get deeper into the season here. But give me the over 6.5 between Columbus and Toronto. I do think it's a higher scoring game. First night of a back-to-back here for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They do have the Carolina Hurricanes on deck. Metro opponent tomorrow. They're sitting 7th in the Metro, and you know they can't overlook any team. They've got a hard matchup here with the Toronto Blue Jays. This team has had their struggles. They've been able to beat the Jays already this season, though. They were able to get a 6-2 win back in October. And when we look at the Leafs coming in here, they've been rolling hot. They were able to get another win over the Tampa Bay Lightning on Monday, one where I thought Tampa would fight back a little bit more, but they won that one 5-3. I expected more out of the Lightning in that meeting. They will be at the Senators on Saturday, and then they're off until next Wednesday versus the Wild. So they have a long rest coming up. They are 7-3 in their last 10 games, and they've won their last 6 as a favorite off a win. So a nice spot here. The problem is I can't back them even on the puck line at that price with the backup goaltender in here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's look at the Winnipeg Jets taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Now, the Winnipeg Jets are the dog versus Colorado, which is crazy. They're plus 105. And I know the Winnipeg Jets, they've had struggles in some of their games, but versus Colorado with Connor Hellebuyck in goal, sign me up. Connor Hellebuck's been able to record 3 straight shutout wins versus the Colorado Avalanche, including their last game, where he saved 22 shots on his net. So he did get that support defensively, and I do think he has every opportunity to do it again. I'm going to take the Winnipeg Jets here at plus 105 straight up on the money line. I'm also looking at this under. We got a total of 5.5 minus 110 to the under. The last game, it was a 3-0 win just on the 11th, you guys. So 11 days ago for the Winnipeg Jets over Colorado. The game earlier this season, we did see Colorado get the win. They won 5-2, but it wasn't Connor Hellebuyck in net. It was Eric Crombrey in net for the Winnipeg Jets. With Connor Hellebuyck in net tonight, I expect him to stand tall between the pipes. This is a team that he's been able to shut out his last 3 times versus them. He will be confident in this one. And then you look at Mackenzie Blackwood on the other side. Mackenzie Blackwood should be able to stand tall as well. Could puck luck come into play and Connor Hellebuyck get hit? Absolutely. We know how hard it is to continue to shut out these teams, but I am looking for the plus money with the Winnipeg Jets in this one. Also, a couple things to look at. I really want to circle Nathan MacKinnon here to get on the board. He's coming off a season where he had 140 points, right? Looking at him this season, he has 74 points in 48 games. He is just steamrolling in the league. But he struggled versus Colorado. He's been limited just 1 assist this season, and that was on an empty netter that we did see in that last game, second last game that he was able to get. So I do think we see that limitation of Nathan MacKinnon. Sorry, Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon. Nathan MacKinnon in this one for the Colorado Avalanche, even though he's so phenomenally strong out there on the ice. I can't bet player props against Connor Hellebuyck in goal because I do think he has every opportunity of shutting things down again. So when I look at players that I really want to circle here for the Winnipeg Jets, traffic. Sorry, my dog is in here and he is being a butt right now. Traffic stop. Okay, so when we look at players I want to circle here for the Winnipeg Jets, Josh Morrissey. You got to circle Josh Morrissey tonight. Josh Morrissey has really shown his ability to get up on Colorado. He's played phenomenally strong. And now in that last game, both of these teams coming off losses, really disappointing loss here for the Jets, it was embarrassing the way they lost to Utah in that last game, 5-2 loss. So they've lost their last two. We have the Colorado Avalanche off a loss to the Wild at home. That's embarrassing as well. 3-1 loss for this team at home. They are at the Bruins on Saturday and then at the Rangers on Sunday. So they have a weekend back-to-back. We do see the Jets. They face Utah at home on Friday. So they've got to redeem themselves versus Utah on Friday, and then they'll face the Calgary Flames on Sunday. They have struggled to cover that puck line versus the Central. So they're 0-5 on that puck line. If you think Colorado's going to win big, those trends do support. And that's the puck line as a dog. 0-5 on the puck line as a dog versus the Central. They do support Colorado to win by 2. This should be a bounce back spot for Colorado, but it comes down to Connor Hellebuck for me. So Josh Morrissey is where I want to circle. I don't want to look at players here. Long story short, for Colorado. Josh Morrissey for an assist tonight, I think, is a great way to go. Or you can just look at him for his points. So he is a defenseman. He has 5 goals and 35 assists on the season, 99 shots on goal. His anytime goal coming in just under plus 600, I think, is definitely worth a shot because we look at him in the last 10 games versus Colorado, 4 goals and 6 assists. And I think he has every ability to get goal number 5 versus the Colorado Avalanche. If you just want to look at the points, I think it's a nice way to go. And if you want to look at the assist, another nice way to go. And like I said, he's been quiet in that last game versus Utah. He wasn't even able to record a shot on goal, and he spent 22 minutes out there on the ice. I still don't even understand what he was doing out there. He was just like a floater out there on the ice. So after their coach really tore them apart, I do think Josh Morrissey is one of the playmakers you have to look at to come out strong. Power play point for Josh Morrissey, definitely something I want to circle as well tonight. So super high on Josh Morrissey. My favorite play of the day is playing on him. And it's not Nathan McKinnon, where I wanted to get there with Nathan McKinnon. I just cannot. They usually take care of the Jets unless you see Connor Hellebuck in net. Connor Hellebuck has been able to record a shutout versus them in his last 3. Boston, LA Kings, Toronto, and Colorado. Jamie, are you going to parlay that? Let me know if you're putting a sprinkle on all 4 to get the win tonight. The next game on the ice is the last game, the Florida Panthers taking on the LA Kings. Spencer Knight expected here for Florida, as they did have a game last night, second night of back-to-back for them. They were able to steamroll over the Ducks. They got that 5-2 win. Again, we tried to find value in that game, and it was the Florida Panthers who were able to just come out. They weren't looking ahead to the LA Kings here at all. Now, Darcy Kemper expected in goal tonight for the LA Kings, and I love this one to the under. Spencer Knight has to stand really tall, but you look at the defense here of the Florida Panthers, and they have been able to really limit their opponent's ability to get these shots on goal, especially as of late. And I love what we're seeing out of the LA Kings. We know this team at home is so phenomenally strong, and they're coming off a home loss. They lost the last game to the Pittsburgh Penguins 5-1. Rare home loss for this team. They were riding so hot in their games at home. Hadn't lost one for what, 6, 7, 8, 9, I believe 9 games, then took the loss to the Penguins on Monday. They will be at the Columbus Blue Jackets on Saturday, at the Red Wings on Monday, and then at the Panthers on Wednesday. So these teams play each other in a week from now, and I do think this game stays under. We'll see about that game next week, depending on the situational spots for both of these teams. But even with Spencer Knight in, I have to hit this one under. So the totals on this one is a 5.5 minus 114 to the under here. If you want to play around with some players for those player points, you guys know where I go for the Kings with Kempe and Kopitar for the point. Parlaying them for the points coming in at plus 108. Now, take them out. And Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Reinhart is where I'd parlay for the point on the other side, coming in at plus 115. So the Florida Panthers, Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart for the point plus 115. And then Kempe and Kopitar for the point for the Kings. Kempe, Kopitar, for the Kings coming in at plus 108. So those are the 4 playmakers I would look at. Now, if you're looking for goals, though, I do like Reinhart for the goal. I think a nice longer shot is Sam Bennett for goal. And I know I'm looking at an under here, but I'm looking at these players that normally always step up versus these opponents. So Long shot goal scorer is Sam Bennett for me in this one. As for the LA Kings, it's Kempe, who I would go to for that goal. He's only plus 190 for the goal. So that is where I would go in this matchup. But lower scoring game, you guys, that total, again, 5.5 coming in at minus 114. Now, I do expect that first period to be a slower first period as well. If we take the under 1.5 in the first period, it's coming in at minus 122. So the book's expecting that lockdown on the defensive side. You're going to have to lay juice. I want to look at the no goals in the first 10 minutes. No goals in the first 10 minutes. Not as much value as I wanted. No goals in the first 10 minutes, only plus 106. So the book's really expecting that. If you think we'll get a goal nice and quick on one of these goaltenders, it is Spencer Knight. It's coming in at minus 134. I expected us to get, plus 140 value here for the no goals in the first 10 minutes. That's a hard bet to only get plus 106. So I would stay off of that, but I do expect the fact that you're getting it at that value for it to, lack of value for it to hit. Morrissey point at minus 110 instead of the assist at plus 110. Yeah, absolutely. If you can get Josh Morrissey at minus 110 for a point on your book haul, I definitely would hit on that because he could get the goal. He could get the assist, right? So at minus 110 versus plus 110 for the assist, it has so much more value just to take him that way. Right, and with the LA Kings straight up on the money line in this game. So the LA Kings on the money line at minus 120 definitely seems like a great way to go. This LA Kings team is so nice and strong at home. Could I take the LA Kings minus 1.5 on that puck line for that bounce back situation versus the Florida Panthers team on the second night of back-to-back? Absolutely. I could see this being a 3-1 win here for the LA Kings with that empty netter coming into play. So I think if you like the Kings, it's worth a small sprinkle on that puck line, laying 1.5 at plus 210. Something I'm definitely going to jump in on, and something that I really want to jump in on if we see the Florida Panthers score first in the second period. That's where I'm hoping things go. I'm hoping 0-0 into the second, and then in that second period, Florida scores first, and then we can come back in on the LA Kings to get the win. Now, the LA Kings have been strong in that first period at home, so we might not get that betting situation. But at the end of the day, that's where I want to go. Let me know who you guys are liking. Just trying to read all of your comments here. So Jasper Bratt, 2 points. Miko, anytime goal. Jasper Bratt for 2 points. What are we getting Jasper Bratt for 2 points tonight? Let me just look at him here for the New Jersey Devils. Jasper Bratt for 2+ points. This should be a higher scoring game. So Jasper Bratt for the 1 point is minus 205. Jasper Bratt for 2+ points at plus 240. I could see it coming into play today. I do like the way that you're looking at this. Again, I'm looking for a higher scoring game. I think the Boston Bruins do have an upper hand over the New Jersey Devils because I really haven't trusted the New Jersey Devils as of late with what they've been bringing to the table. They've been struggling out there. But you look at the Devils team, this team has to get back on track. They have to start scoring. And their playmakers like Jasper Bratt really have to step up. So plus 240 here for Jasper Bratt for 2+ points. I do like it. His anytime goal is coming in at plus 220. So I'd rather ride with the 2+ points. I think it's a great way. What's his assist coming in at? His assist minus 108. Yeah, take him for 2+ points in this matchup. This should be some pond hockey out there between these two teams. I'm expecting it. It's again Swayman or Corpusalo. I can't really trust either for Boston. Jacob Markstrom should be able to come out stronger. He's strong at home, but Devils have been struggling to score, but I'm expecting them to come back. So you guys, let's roll through the recap here and then get on with the day. Almost 10:30, you guys. Let's jump into this. It's at the 19-minute mark. The Boston Bruins taking on the New Jersey Devils. We were just talking about this one. I do think it goes over the total of 6.5. Actually, we got a 5.5, over 5.5 at minus 120. Look for both teams to score in the first period. The first period to go over 1.5 goals. I'm not expecting a lot of defense in this matchup, even though Boston would like to play that style of game. The Devils have been struggling to get the goals, and I think it opens back up in this one for them. So give me the over 5.5. I also like Boston to try to keep it tight. Now, the value with Boston isn't really there, plus 1.5 at minus 140. But if the Devils go up first, I want to come back in on the Boston Bruins. They've been playing the better hockey as of late, which is hard to say because I love what we see now. The Devils sitting third in the Metro, but we will see them start to step up. The Devils just haven't been covering that puck line, and it's way too much juice to lay anything here with a Devils team with those struggles as of late. So Jasper Bratt, I did like for the assist. So taking him for the 2+ points, I think is a great way to go in this matchup for anyone looking there. And then looking at Pasternak. Pasternak has been so strong for the Boston Bruins, 22 goals, 31 assists for 53 points on the season. The Columbus Blue Jackets and the Toronto Maple Leafs with a backup goaltender in here for the Toronto Maple Leafs, even though the Columbus Blue Jackets have struggled to score, especially out there on the road, or struggled to get those wins overall out there on the road. I will just look for this one to go over that total. So that total 6.5 minus 106 to the over. If you want to look here at Toronto's team total, I don't blame you. Over 3.5, you're going to have to lay slate juice. Now, I do think over 1.5 goals in the first period is a nice way to go. And then both teams to score in the first period. Again, the books are giving us that at plus 158. Not as much value as I would want, but I do think both teams come out and find the back of the net. So both of those games looking at the over to start. And then when we start diving in to these later games, 9:30 Eastern, we got the Winnipeg Jets and the Colorado Avalanche. I am going to roll with the under in this one. I look at Connor Hellebuyck in net for the Winnipeg Jets, and he's been phenomenally strong, being able to record a shutout in the last 3 matchups versus Colorado. The last one being just on January 11th. He stopped 22 shots on his goal to get that shutout win. Mackenzie Blackwood expected on the other side here for the Colorado Avalanche. Now, if it's not Connor Hellebuyck, throw the bet out the window. So wait to see confirmation, you guys. With Connor Hellebuyck in, it's the Winnipeg Jets for me. Eric Crombry in, it's the Colorado Avalanche on the puck line, laying 1.5 goals. So that's how much goaltending will flip my bet in this one. So please wait till you see the confirmation on goaltending. No matter what, I am so high on Josh Morrissey today. Josh Morrissey's been phenomenally strong for the Winnipeg Jets versus the Colorado Avalanche in the last 10, 4 goals and 6 assists. He was so quiet in the last game versus Utah. I expect him to come out nice and strong in this one. And just to look at what Eric Crombry brings to the table instead of Connor Hellebuyck, the last time the Avs got the win. So the Jets won the last matchup January 11th. We did see Colorado win the last matchup in Denver 5-2 with Eric Crombry in net for the Winnipeg Jets. So I do think there's such a difference there, but I'm still not going to ride any props here for Colorado if it is Eric Crombry and not Connor Hellebuyck, because I want to back Nathan MacKinnon. Nathan MacKinnon has struggled versus the Avs. They find a way to lock him out of the play, and he's recorded an assist in that 5-2 game, but he struggles versus them. So Rantanen would be where I'd look before Nathan MacKinnon, which, is always hard to say, you guys. And then the last game, the Florida Panthers versus the LA Kings, again, another under here. I do like the under 1.5 in the first period between these two teams. No goal in the first 10 minutes. It's only plus 106. We're normally getting so much more value. Spencer Knight is expected here for the Florida Panthers, though. So hard to take an under with Spencer Knight, but I expect that defense to give him the support in front of the net and not allow those high danger shots out of the LA Kings. Now, the LA Kings love to go to these under grind them out style hockey. And I do think with Darcy Kemper in goal, they will be strong defensively and between the pipes. So give me the under in this one. If you like the LA Kings to get the win, I would look at the LA Kings puck line laying 1.5 with plus money, because I do think 3-1 style win for either of these teams. And I do think the Kings with last change here at home with the better goaltender will be able to get the win. This team coming off a loss at home, a rare loss at home in their last game out versus the Pittsburgh Penguins on Monday. They're going to be eager to lock down defensively. And it's the second night of a back-to-back here for the Florida Panthers. So you guys, that is where I'm going. I want to wish you guys all the best in all of your bets. Let's make some freaking money out there on the ice. And we'll see you tomorrow back here on SportsGrid TV on X at noon Eastern. We'll talk to you then. Thanks, guys. hit some anytime.